everyone, my name is Katie and I work for howtobecome.com. Welcome to my video entitled Inductive Reasoning. Before I move on, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more free, amazing content. Please feel free to leave me any messages or queries, or if there is a video you would like me to do, drop me a message in the comments box below and I'll personally get back to you as soon as I can. And also, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, so it would really help me out to see what you guys are enjoying. Okay, so let's get straight into it. So, what is inductive reasoning? So, inductive reasoning tests take the form of a series of diagram-related questions. Your job is to identify what is happening in the diagrams to determine the pattern of the sequence. Inductive reasoning tests are used by many employers to measure a candidate's problem-solving ability. They are also known as abstract reasoning or diagrammatic tests. These tests will examine your ability to find solutions to unfamiliar problems in a short time frame. In order to pass an inductive reasoning test, you must be able to think both analytically and conceptually. Okay, so some top tips for passing inductive reasoning tests. So first of all is staying focused and don't get distracted by irrelevant information. Questions will often require you to identify shapes in regards to how they can be linked. There will be several false links planted to try and trip you up. Make sure there is a clear link between each figure before selecting your answer. Be strategic and take into account size, colours, numbers, sides, positioning, shading, symmetry, angles and direction. So do not spend too much time on one particular question. So you may find some questions easier than others. You may struggle at a certain type of question, and so it is important not to ponder about questions you are unsure of. Move on and then come back to those questions at the end. Do your best to visualise the answers, and if it helps, draw them out as you go along. Highlighters and marker pens will help you to count shapes or work out numbers and angles. Accuracy is key, so you need to remember as accurate as possible to ensure successful marks. That's why it's important to fully comprehend the questions and understand what is being asked. Most people find it difficult to finish all of the questions, so do not be put off by the thought of not completing the whole test, because these tests are designed to make it hard for candidates to finish. If you are unsure about the answers, make sure you use our detailed answers and explanations to understand how to get the correct answer. Remember, knowing where you went wrong is just as important as getting the questions correct. So you need to understand how the answer can be reached. So try practicing the question again after reading through the answers and explanations to ensure you know where you went wrong. Now this tip is referring to my inductive reasoning guidebook, and I'm going to give you the link below this video, so make sure you check that out, because you'll have lots of practice questions there for you, and you'll be able to read the detailed answers and explanations how to work out every type of question. So within the complete the sequence questions, you can always work backwards in order to make sure you have the correct answer. So by working backwards, you will have to do the opposite of what is being asked. But this is sometimes a useful tip if you're struggling with the conventional methods. Practice is key. So if you struggle with visualizing shapes and objects, you may struggle with this type of test. This is why we have provided you with plenty of sample questions for you to work through. So the more you practice these tests, the more likely you are to feel comfortable and confident with the questions. Remember, practice really does make perfect. Okay, so things to know. So typically, in an inductive reasoning test, you will need to choose between 4 to 6 possible answers. The answers will all look very similar, and therefore you will need a keen eye to spot the right details. There is often a strict time limit for these tests, and therefore many candidates find it difficult to complete the test within the given time frame. Generally speaking, employers are not looking for you to complete the test. Whilst the number of questions completed will obviously affect your result, they are more interested in the accuracy of your answers. Try to work as efficiently as possible, but never sacrifice quality for quantity. Okay, so types of questions. So the types of questions that you will face in an inductive reasoning test will vary depending on the role for which you're applying. While most of the questions will be fairly similar, they will aim to test particular aspects that are related to the job you've applied for. So inductive reasoning is often used as an early screening process during job applications in order to help employers narrow down wide selection fields. So questions will include rotations, reflections, alternations, translations, replacements, and 3D shapes. So let's have a look at some practice questions. So question 1, so what figure completes the sequence pattern? So here we have our sequence, which is the top row of patterns, and here are our answer options. So how to work it out? So the large shape positions is determined by the small black squares. So as you can see, the little black squares in this grid here determines where the big shape is placed, as you can see. So these two black squares here are represented by the big shapes here. Okay, so you need to find one that follows this pattern. So for the large shapes, one shape has to be white and the other has to be black. As you can see, we've got black and white, black and white, black, white. So you know that this one here also has to contain a black and white big shape. So we can establish that the answer is in fact B, because these two black squares are representing where the position of these shapes go, and it also contains a black and white shape. So question 2, so what figure completes the sequence pattern? So again, you're working out how this sequence progresses in order to work out which one comes first. So rule 1, the dots move to one side in a clockwise motion. Rule 2, every figure in the sequence contains a black square in the corner of the whole box. This square moves one corner clockwise. As you can see, here goes to there for every other box. Okay, so because we're working out the first one, we know that this black square is going to have to be in the bottom right corner. So we automatically know that the answer is C. So question 3, so what figure comes next in the series? So here we have our diagrams. We've got lots of different dots in half the rectangle, okay? So rule 1, so working from the top half of the box using a zigzag method across the sequence, the dots follow the pattern of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, so you're working out which one will come next. So you know that the bottom box of the next one's got to contain 3 dots, okay? So we can eliminate A, C, D, so it could be B or E. So let's, working from the bottom half of the box using a zigzag method, the dots follow the pattern of 4, 2, 2, 2, 4, and so on. So you know that the answer is B, because in the top box we'll have to have 2 dots. Question 4, so which figure is the odd one out? So as you can see, each figure must contain a square. So this contains a square and this one contains a square. So the odd one out is E, because these two shapes are not a square. Question 5, which figure is the odd one out? So as you can see, each figure must contain 3 lines. So this one, option A, contains 3 lines. Option B contains 4 lines. Option C contains 3 lines. And option D contains 3 lines. So the odd one out is answer B, because the other ones contain only 3 lines. Okay, so that completes this video for inductive reasoning. And I hope you have found something useful for you to go about your inductive reasoning test. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And don't forget to leave me a comment if you do have any questions or queries. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the very best of luck in all of your job application tests.